what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between. Bottom
line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy. In case you missed it, Jayden Daniels named to the Walter Camp Player of the Year. Finalist list, him, Bo Nix, and Michael Penix. He's now a finalist for the Walter Camp. Davey O'Brien, Maxwell, Unitas Golden Arm, and will be for the Heisman. Which one's the one that the Heisman winner normally wins? Do you know? It feels like some of you know.
The Maxwell,
yeah. Okay.
Typically, the one who finishes second wins the Walter Camp.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Like McCoy won the Walter Camp when Bradford won the Heisman. I think it was the same with whoever, one of the guys that lost to Tebow, either Chase Daniel or Cole Brennan.
And isn't that like, it's like, okay, you're making this obvious.
Yeah, but I don't, I also kind of don't mind it, you know? Like I would be angry if they do end up giving this to Bo Nix, which we don't have to have the conversation again. We can have it again tomorrow. Since we had it yesterday and the day before that and the day before that. But like if they do it and giving it to Nix, like Daniels deserves something for this season. Yeah. And in the same way, Bo Nix deserves something for this season, I would say. So
and you would get a plaque.
I don't hate it.
Like for Jayden, if he didn't win the Heisman, but he still won a national award. Like, you get your plaque, like, on Tiger Stadium, which I think's really cool.
Really? Oh, yeah, there you
right
go.
by
Exactly,
the locker room.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you get immortalized. And obviously, he'll be an All-American. He'll get the oil painting, all of that. But, yeah, so I don't hate it, but it is funny that it's clearly like, look, you were awesome. You didn't get the Heisman. Here's a National Player of the Year award. Malik Nabers was named a finalist for the Blitnikoff, along with Rome Odunze and Marvin Harrison Jr. No Troy Franklin. But you knew that Harrison was going to make it, especially after playing well against Michigan.
You knew one of the players that deserved to be there was going to be left out, and it was probably going to be Rome or Troy Franklin.
Yeah.
Turns out Rome Odunze gets there, Troy Franklin does not, and there were some mad Duck fans.
You know, and I get it because in Oregon's only real, like, big game of the year against Washington, Troy Franklin was unstoppable.
Yeah.
But so was Rome Odunze.
Yeah. And
Odunze just had too many moments in these close Washington games where he was the difference. I mean, even look at Oregon State. I think Penix threw for like 150 and 2 touchdowns. And I want to say like 120 of it and 2 touchdowns went to Odunze. In a game you win 22-20. So it felt like Odunze had multiple, like, I won my team the game moments, whereas Troy Franklin was just kind of cruising. Also, Oregon fans with their padding stat arguments, never forget you beat Portland State like 81-7.
Oh, yeah, those have been shut down pretty quick. I wonder if someone who is not led in any major category, receptions, yards, average per catch, touchdowns, has ever won the Blitnikoff, because Marvin Harrison Jr. would do that.
That's a good question. That's actually write that down. That's actually a great question. Because we should look that up. Make sure we don't forget that. So I wanted to take this moment though, because so often, Jake, we're so deep in the woods that we can't see the forest of the trees, right? Like, I don't know always what the average person knows or doesn't know about this team, because all we do is talk about them, think about them 24/7. And so, like, do you think the average person actually knows how good Malik Nabers has been? Like, over his career, but also just like this year? And I'm not so sure. Like, I kind of don't feel like they do. I feel like if you're just more of casual, and I don't mean that as a pejorative. I get it. I mean, like, it's college football. It's fun. It just happens to be my life. For most people, you have far more important things going on. But if you're more of a casual, you're probably like, yeah, Nabers is awesome. Love watching, right? He freaking dominates. He balls. And then you're like, Jayden Daniels awesome, right? But you may not really know. So LSUsports.net, as they were, had the piece on him being announced as a finalist, just kind of laid out everything he's done this year. So Malik Nabers currently leads the nation in receiving yards, 1,546 yards. He is second in the country in touchdowns with 14 of them. It's actually Brian Thomas Jr. who's ahead of him with 15. He has 9 games with at least 100 yards receiving. including a streak of the last 5 games. So the most important part of the year against the best part of the schedule, against the best competition, 5 100-yard games.
I think I saw the 900-yard games hadn't been done in the SEC like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I believe it felt – I was surprised there wasn't something tacked onto that because that felt like pretty crazy consistent. He leads the country in plays of 20-plus yards. How did Jayden end up with 90? Because Malik created 34 of them things. He's got 34 30-plus yard plays as well, and 7 plays of 40 or more. He is LSU's all-time leading reception getter. So if you're an old-school fan that loved Wendell Davis or any of these other great receivers, think about it. Nobody stands further on top of the mountain than does Malik Nabers. If he plays in the bowl game, he will be the all-time yardage leader as well. He would have been had they not made an awful – I mean, how crazy is that? He would lead the nation in touchdown and be LSU all-time receiver. They had to call that awful holding call on Kyron Lacy. Makes you legitimately angry, whatever. In his career, 186 catches, 2,980 yards. So if he plays in the bowl game, he'll have a 3,000-yard receiver. 21 touchdowns. As we mentioned earlier this season, Malik Nabers joined Josh Reed as the only LSU players in history with multiple 1,000-yard seasons, which is crazy when you consider, I mean, just run through all the names in this golden era of LSU football, right? Like Dwayne Bowe, Buster Davis. I mean, obviously guys like Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, like Terrence Tolliver, Reuben Randall,
Jarvis
Odell, whatever, JoJo LaFell. Like you get it. The list goes on and on. Nobody but Josh Reed to kick things off 20 years ago, and now Malik Nabers have gone back-to-back 1K.
That's crazy.
Yard season. Yeah. That's crazy. It's a lot of NFL greats there.
First rounders, yeah.
Yes, littered throughout. And, yeah.
But
that's the point. He's just fantastic.
Kind of going to your original question, I'm not sure that the rest of the country realizes it.
No, because Jayden shines, the quarterback shines.
Well, he does, but even like some of the Jayden stuff, like some of the stats that we've kind of gone over the last couple of days, like I'll say them on off campus, and people are like, "Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow!" I'm like, "How do y'all not know that? It's everywhere." But like, obviously we're in it, like you said. And then like the receiver debate, like every time that conversation comes up, no matter who I'm talking to, the East Coast, West Coast guy, it's like, yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, and I'll oftentimes be like Malik Nabers. I'll say his name in the conversation because like he's the leader in the clubhouse. But I'm not sure. I don't know if it's because of the quarterback. I don't know if it's because of the preseason narrative of Marvin Harrison Jr. and even Rome Odunze too. I mean, he had a lot of hype. He was first team All-American.
Yeah.
Coming into the year. It's like if he was doing it in Conference USA, okay. If he was doing it in the American, okay. He's doing it in the SEC. And he's doing it at a level that, hasn't been done in 20 years. 900-yard receiving game. Like,
unfortunately, I think it's also he too's hurt by the losses, Like, Rome Odunze would not be top of the mind if Washington wasn't 12-0, right? Like, if Washington was 9-3, people would not jump. Rome Odunze, like, Marvin Harrison Jr. would probably be getting love no matter what. Because obviously there is name recognition there, and he was awesome like last year as well, and everything. And there's name recognition there, and Ohio State's always been on that big stage.
Yeah.
But like if Washington was 9-3, probably your average person wouldn't be talking about Rome Odunze either. So once again, all roads lead back to this LSU defense just holding this team back in so many different ways. But whatever. But yeah, so I just wanted to take this time to shine a light, give thanks, and appreciate Malik Nabers for these last couple of years and whatever comes next for him. Because again, I don't want any of that greatness to be lost in anger over House being potentially retained or anger over Bo Nix in Oregon and yada yada yada. Like Malik was awesome.
if Malik Nabers ends this season without any kind of national award and he doesn't also get his plaque right outside of the locker room,
it's sad.
That's a crime.
Yeah. I mean, what if like how many receivers get first team All-American? Is it 3?
Probably 3 now.
It better be 3 now.
I'm sure my position got kicked off the.
Yeah. Or
award.
I mean, you can give out 12 first team. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's
other positions.
It used
like,
to be. Used to be, you
strict
get a
11.
running back and fullback.
Yes.
Probably not anymore.
No, I would say that slot has more value.
We've gone to 11 personnel.
Yeah. We have gone on the All-American teams. We've gone. I would hope so because he at least in the very least, it would be a high crime against God and humanity and the laws that the Lord hath made if Malik Nabers is not in the least a first-team All-American with his oil painting and name outside the stadium, everything else.
And also, Brian Thomas deserves to be an All-American. It might not end up being first team. But he deserves to be.
I think he will be
an All-American.
I think. I mean, I don't know how you would avoid. I don't know how you could have put him on. Yeah. I mean, you got third teams out there. Like,
right.
I mean, he should be
he's
second
on
team
some
at
level.
least. But like, if he doesn't get even third, that's insane. He leads the country in touchdowns. He's over 1,000 yards himself.
Another player that deserves to be an All-American this year, but again, because of the losses, you wonder because when you go like undefeated, you have one loss, you make a run. It's just like back in the NFL. Like if you had a good run, if you were 13-3 back in the day, your whole team was gonna make the Pro Bowl basically.
Yeah.
Like,
if
like Will Campbell would be a first team, no doubt All-American. He still might be, but he would be one.
There are a ton of O linemen that have gotten onto All-American teams because they were part of a championship team, and it's just like we got to choose like just the best guy on that. Like even if they weren't technically the best, they weren't really the best O-lineman, maybe the best O-lineman on that great team, and you become an All-American, which I mean, is that's cool. That's well earned, but yeah, that's how it goes.
If you went 13-3 back in the day, you were going to have 7 Pro Bowlers.
Bro, the Saints minimum. 2011 team really had all the Pro Bowlers. Like I was watching the meme on Instagram a few weeks back, and it was the intro, and it was like. I mean, look up how many Saints players from made the 2011 when they had the record-setting season that ended in San Fran. Look up how many of those, how much of that offense made the Pro Bowl because it was insane. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes!
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.